G'day everyone and welcome back to Starseeds and Patriots of Down Under. This is Christian here, your host and friend and friendly neighbourhood Starseed. I just would like to do a quick video today and just give you all an update as to how my niece Jessica is doing. Being today is National Are You OK Day today in Australia. And it seems very befitting that I do the follow-up today as a kind reminder to everyone that Are You OK Day isn't just one national day once a year, I should say, not holiday, national day once a year. It should be every day. Taking that time in your day, if you have a friend or a family member that you love dearly, or someone that you just see maybe on the street, make sure that you don't let that moment pass your thoughts where you know that you could have made a difference and then find out later on that something happened and have that on your conscience. It's not a good feeling. I know several friends in my past that have had that, and they sincerely regret knowing that they have had a moment where they could have made a difference and they didn't. So don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. Please, I implore you now, my friends, my family, my followers, my subscribers, my family. I can't express it enough because this is how we honour our fellow human beings and show that there is equality across the board. Okay? If we're going to change the world and how we do things, how we speak, how we act and treat each other, if it means we have to get there one person at a time, then so be it. And Are You OK Day is not okay for just one day of the year. It is not okay. It is every day. So I ask now, my friends, that if you can make a difference in someone's life and know that you have the power to do that, or the wisdom, knowledge, or information that could help them on their path so that they can stay in this realm, because it is an absolute honor and privilege to be this three-dimensional being, to have this experience, to be able to love, live, laugh, and experience on a physical level as a soul that is eternal. A soul that is eternal is made of energy and cannot be extinguished. Light and energy can only merely be changed from one state of matter to another through vibration and frequency. Everything is vibration and frequency, including this three-dimensional hologram that we call physical body. But it is an honor to be here, to have this experience. More profound now at this time where we are in history, more so than any other point in our time in history in our past. Especially with all that is happening right now and what we are heading to as a society and as a culture and as a civilization. It's never been more exciting in all my 50 years this year. You know, I feel absolutely invigorated and young. Still inside as a 50-year-old man, I still feel my inner child on an inspirational level every day, being used in a way that's inspiring to others. And I hope that this video can be used in a way for you so that you can inspire others as well, knowing that you can make that difference with what you know or what you can teach or how you can make a difference. And that is all done through being conscious of oneself, being conscious of yourself, your environment, your friends and family and other people around you, and using a heart space to do everything from. Doing everything from love. How would you feel if you were that person? Okay? That's what you need to ask yourself, is that just because it's not me doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. Okay? They do. The story, the person, the journey, the problem that they might face all matters. You know why? Because they matter. As a human being, they are made from matter. That's where the word matter derives from. Okay? To care, to have empathy, to have compassion, to give them dignity and respect, understanding. These are all the fundamentals. To have embrace, to have touch, connection. These are the fundamentals of life that all are required to have a fruitful, abundant life. And these people deserve that. Which brings me now also into my next part of this video, is where I'd like to also honor you, my audience, my friends, my family, my subscribers from all my channels on YouTube, from Rumble, from Telegram. I get to say thank you to all of you right now for the outpouring of love and dignity, compassion and understanding and caring that you gave my Jessica, my niece, 2 weeks ago, when I received a very, very dreadful phone call that made my heart drop 10 feet because I thought we lost our baby. She's a very special girl who has significant little individual problems, but still at the same time is very special in a way that gives her great intelligence, vastly beyond our wisdom of knowledge of love. Her love that she has for the world is unlike anyone that I've ever seen. She's such an amazing being, a beautiful human in every way and respect. And Jessica is so touched by and just uplifted, inspired, and feels so supported by the love that she had seen outpoured for her through my post on Facebook. And all of you that responded with your love, your words of wisdom, your upliftment, your inspiration, your everything that you gave of yourself from your heart space, from your vibration, your frequency, your intent, your conscious. I would like to say, and to let you know right now that I would like to honor you all right now. You know who you are. There's so many of you that I cannot name. How many of you supported that? And I would like to thank you. Supported her plight, my plight, and gave Jessica the dignity that she as a human being in equality deserves with love. That was an amazing outpouring. And I was touched myself. I even had tears as a man, which I'm not ashamed to show or express right now in verbal, and let you know that I was touched to the point where I had tears for that love that was being shown for my niece. And it's beautiful to know that souls such as yourselves exist out there, and that you too are making that change and changing the world one person at a time, because that's what this is all about. And you are making that difference on a daily level, and we are all unifying in that sense, that all our mindsets in a way are reaching a vibrational frequency where we are all thinking and acting and treating other people the same way that we wish to be treated in order to make change. We're doing it together. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's absolutely wonderful. So being Are You Okay Day today is not just okay. It's on every day that you can make that difference. Don't let that pass you by, and know that it could be on your conscious later. Because remember, everyone, this is an old Native American fable that they tell their young in tribes, in tribal stories. And this is probably told with, possibly dingoes here in Australia through our original people's oral stories passed down as well, is that there are two wolves. There are two wolves in life. One was a white wolf who lives off love, compassion, empathy, and light. And there is a dark wolf who lives on fear, anger, aggression, and darkness. Which wolf wins? Well, heads up, the wolf that you feed the most. It's that easy. The more you show intent of consciousness towards doing good and showing and bearing light and giving where you can and being of service to another and knowing that you can make that difference is feeding the white wolf, the right one. I feed the right wolf. I hope you do too. Because that's where the difference is. Don't feed the darkness, because that's just like the Sith. It will consume you. It will consume everything that you do and eat you up to a point where there's nothing left but a bitter, empty husk of a shell. And that's not much to live on. So make that difference if you can. Feed the right wolf. Make change in this world. Which brings me to another point that I'd like to quickly make as well, a quick story that I'd like to quickly iterate to everyone as well. Yesterday afternoon, I had a message come through from my neighbour. I won't mention her name, as she's asked me not to, which is something that I'll do out of respect. She has unfortunately her kids in care, and her CSO is a new CSO, funnily enough. And she's been through 3 CSOs in the 5 years that she's had her kids with, Child Protective Services here in Australia, or whatever they call them here. I think that's what they call them in America. But anyway, her Child Services Officer here was giving her the runaround and not giving her the dignity and respect of giving her phone calls back in relation to outings that had been organised. And one group are saying yes, and he's basically saying, I'll get back to you, but doesn't. And she thought the best policy, her policy would be, is that, well, if he doesn't want to answer my calls or get back to me or message me, let's just go down there. Could you possibly help me, Chris, because I'm about to snap? And I could hear it in her voice, or in the tone of what she was typing in text. You can imagine in her voice how she was feeling when she typed it. You can feel like when you're frequency sensitive to others, especially, and their plight and their emotions, you feel sometimes the texts as feelings, and you can really hone in on that frequency and feel for them, which helps you actually put yourself in that situation. What if that was you? It helps you identify with your emotions, your feelings, so that you can be of better support to them. Okay? And I just said, absolutely. Now, I would love to just express too. Now, this morning, I also had a lot of things prepared, ready for a show this morning that I wanted to do, a recording. But putting all that aside for a second, I'll get back to that. My neighbourino, right? My neighbourino came and said, can I possibly come to you and just say, hey, can I come over to your place and just hang out? I need to talk to you because this is really getting to me. Can you possibly give me some advice? I need some advice. And I just said, yeah, mate, no worries. And everything that I had was in the middle of writing, because I was in the middle of writing up my bullet points that I like to go by in my book there for one of my shows. I just put it all aside and said, absolutely, mate, no worries. Come on over. And within 10 minutes, she was here. And I could see when she got here, she was very emotional. She told me what was going on. Neighbourino was really beside herself. Really, okay. Emotions were running high. She was very emotional. And instantly I just gave her a hug, as you do, as a good person, a good neighbour. That's what we call each other. Hey, neighbourino. That's what I call her, neighbourino. Like Ned Flanders. And, I gave her a big hug and just, she held on for a couple of seconds, which was really good. She obviously needed that connection as a friend, which is also, to a degree as well, an energy transfer. I was very much in a positive light all day, regardless of what was going out in the world. I was holding space, okay? And I said, as that embrace happened, I wanted some of my energy, my essence, my vibration and frequency, positivity to be transferred over into her so that she could calm and be able to speak and communicate on a level that was more cohesive and conducive, and at a level that's actually very awesome for my environment as well, because I like to keep a positive space in my home, and she knows that as well. And she did. It worked, and it was amazing to see just at that moment how much she came down. Okay, and anyway, getting on with it, she told me what was going on with her CSO and asked me straight out, can you be of support to me? I need your help. Can you come down tomorrow and give me a hand? I need you to be my support there. And if you could you interject, if need be, if he gets intimidating in any way? Because this guy's a bit of a dick. Okay, I will say it because I met him today. And that's where I just said, yeah, absolutely, I'll come down. Absolutely. What time do you need me there? We'll go there. We'll need to be there by 9. And I said, absolutely, I'm there. I'm done. I'm there. And I dropped everything that I was doing for this morning and made sure that I was available, freshly, shaved, dressed right, pressed shirt, pressed pants, nice shoes, looked to the nines, smelt right, looked right, had a ring on, had my ring, 2 rings that are on either finger, not those, okay, on those fingers, okay. I had my watch on, I had my necklace on, I looked very, very nice, I looked very, very smart, and I looked casual. And I looked like someone, to some degree, a slight professional, but still at the same time, not overdoing it, okay. And from the moment he recognised that Renee was there, he could see that he was curious, who's this guy? And anyway, he came to the counter and he told Neighbourino, I'll be about 15 minutes. I said, Neighbourino, look, that seems pretty convenient, don't you think? We get here and you're booked for 9, and then all of a sudden he says to you, mate, I'm going to come back in 15 minutes. This is an all of a sudden meeting. I thought that's heavily convenient considering you were called in for a 9 o'clock meeting. And she was like, absolutely. Anyway, Neighbourino and I just sat there for a few minutes. And, we just talked amongst ourselves, and chances are they're probably listening to us out the back on the audio and watching us on the cameras. No doubt. I don't put it past them. That's how slow they are, because that's their policy. They can record. Anyway, 10 minutes passed. He came back through the door for the interview room, which obviously means he's gone through a back door. And we got called in, and he said, oh, who's this? And she just straight it, said, oh, this is my support. This is also one of my neighbours. And he goes, oh, hey, mate, how you going? And a Scottish accent, quite polite at first. And this is where I'm making a difference, okay, in the world, where I know that I can be of support and make a difference. If I have knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that I can impart or put into a situation or interject with and make a difference with, this was my point. This was my moment to shine. And I did. This was gold. This was gold. I won't go into the actual logistics of my verbality that I had to express. Let's just say I had to be very, very to the point, concise and direct, and with full eye contact, with lacking of body language as well. I was very direct to the point where he got exactly where I was from. But anyway, long story short, he was getting verbal with her, intimidating in a way that was toneful with his voice. And I did interject. I let myself be known. I actually identified as to who I was. Even though I'm Christian St. Clair to you online and through Starseeds and Patriots of Down Under, I'm also a constitutional sheriff. Okay, and I identified. And this guy thought okay, I'm going to use my policy here and stick my chest out and said, right, mate, in his little Scottish accent, which I got no problem with Scots because I'm a Scot myself, Scottish-Irish descent. I do a great accent. And he goes like, right, mate, where's your identification? And I was like, mate, under the Privacy Act of Australia, regardless of what you wish to see, I can decline right now and actually is telling you, no, I do not wish to give you my identification. That's none of your damn business. And so I'm declining right now. You will just take me formally on the fact that I am identifying as a constitutional sheriff. Okay? I've identified, I've given you my name, and I've given you my registration number. Okay? You can look it up. Go and have a look anytime. Anyway, the body language instantly changed, especially when I started quoting a little bit of law and the fact that her biological requirements as a mother and needs are not being met by the department, and the fact that I'd found out on the journey in from my neighbour that they took the children without factual evidence based on hearsay in a court of law that my neighbour did not have representation for at the time, and have kept them on an order they made themselves against her. So really, illegally, at the end of the day, the children are actually in custody against her will, really, even though they've made an order for them to be there until they're 18. And when I started cracking off a little bit of constitutional law, human rights charter, and a little bit of the Nuremberg Code, that's when things changed. Instantly started making expressions verbally that things can be done. Even the fact that he even mentioned that at any stage that, you know, the order could be revoked. And I thought that's interesting, considering before their stance was that they had to keep the children there until they were 18. Now, I'm not going to go on anymore, any further with this. What I'll say is that what I saw today was a moment where I could actually support someone in their plight in order to make a difference in their life, which could possibly be one voice that makes that change, that could get her possibly her kids home by the time this all goes down, which we all know what is happening globally right now, okay, especially with the children. And this is why I spoke up, because the last thing we need is for any more children to go through what we've seen kids going through, what they've been exposed to and done to them. These are two beautiful children that are very gifted as well. My neighbours, they have special gifts. I can see that. Any starseed can see that. And that's why I took the moment to make it my time to care, my time to show compassion, give those kids the dignity, the respect, the love that they deserve. For those that do not have a voice, I was that voice that could not speak. I spoke for them. And that's where you too can make that difference, saving someone. Doesn't matter if it's a child, saving someone. And use my audience, my friends, my family, my followers, subscribers. You've made that difference in saving my niece, my Jessica. I'm just absolutely, we are blessed to be here in the here and now, to be of support to each other, to show humanity, to give us that respect and understanding and love. You showed that equivalently in every way to my niece when she needed it, and the support. And she is so thankful. I am thankful. I am grateful. She is grateful. And I cannot express that enough, is that today my neighbour is now grateful for the service that I was able to be to her in her plight. And now it's just amazing, the exchange. Can you see? We are grateful to each other for everything that has happened, and it's resulted in positivity. And I'm actually going to read you quickly my neighbour's message that she sent to me in relation to this, saying the actual outcome this afternoon. Here we go. Hey, Dales. David, the CSO, kept his word from this morning and has called me this afternoon and said that he's just waiting for my team leader to get out of meetings to give the okay. Then he's going to be talking to her about more time with her daughter. I won't mention her daughter's name, with her daughter. So I just wanted to say again, a massive big thank you to you, Chris. Obviously, having you there today has helped me a lot and the situation, and they now know that I'm not letting them F me over. I'm making my stand. Thank you again, and so much love. Neighborino. How's that? Now, that gratitude there alone, just that touches my heart to know that change is on the horizon, and that change has come about by being one voice that can be in an ocean of many of children that can make a difference. And I mean, like, if you could be a fly on the wall today in that office and hear me stand in my solidarity and my truth and shine, I honestly, and I'll actually run this by you too before I finish up. I actually run this whole situation by Whistleblower Bob this afternoon on the phone about what happened today, because he rang up, because we always talk every afternoon and every morning. And I ran it by him and I said to him, look, I feel somewhat this afternoon and this morning on the way in on the train with my neighbour that this is somewhat on a historical level, timeline level, that this has played out somewhat before, and that this is also somewhat familiar. And that in this time, in this now, in this moment, I'm correcting something in my past, excuse me, in my past that I possibly said no to, and a negative outcome came from that. Not just for the neighborino, okay, but also for the children in a past life somewhere in our timeline throughout history. And Whistleblower Bob said, Chris, he was concentrating and he was actually listening to me whilst tuning into spirit through into source. And he's very intuitive, Whistleblower Bob, like that. It's something that amazes me as to how quick he can tune in like that. He's so sensitive as a being. It's beautiful. And he said, Chris, stop. He goes, Chris, I just got confirmation there, mate, you're actually correcting something right there from your past. I will confirm and validate that right now. Source Spirit just told me. And I was like, thank you, Bob. Thank you. I knew it. I intuitively felt this morning on the way in on the train and have felt it very strongly since. And he goes, well, I'm validating it for you right now, is that, yes, this is a past life thing where you are correcting the timeline and the energy connected to it, where the positive outcome will come from this. And I said, well, funny that, because I've just received a message this afternoon before you rang telling me the outcome of what today's efforts were, and they all are positive. Can you see what I'm saying, everyone? Is that you can make the difference. Don't let a moment pass where asking someone, are you okay, on any daily level, or knowing that you can make a difference in someone's life just by taking the time to care, pass you by, because you could regret it later, okay? Just remember, you got to keep feeding the right wolf in life, okay? Got to feed the right wolf, okay? So I'll leave it there with you. I've talked enough for this evening, but just make sure that if you see something or someone or a situation where you can make change and be that voice, be it. You can make that change. Love you, Starseeds. Take care. See you all next time.